books that I bought this year, and I definitely have not read all of this. I've read very few books this year because I don't know, like it was a stressful year, guys. And I'm a busy person. I'm a busy person. I have not read many books this year, but I'll be mentioning like 10 books. Hopefully, it's 10, like, guys. I hope. If it's not even 10 books, it's embarrassing. Oh, you know what? Let's start now. So the first book which I think I started this year is this one. It's The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. So this is my first like self-help book, and this is definitely a great book. Like, I will say, if you have never read a self-help book, definitely read this. It's Hal tells a story that how what changed his life. Like, he had this great accident, and he was in a successful place in life. He had a nice job, he had a girlfriend, and everything was nice. But then he had this accident. It was a near-death accident. Like, it was serious, guys. And after that, in the recovering stage, he discovered like this book. So that was the time how he got back on his feet and he became successful. And also this book stresses on waking up in the morning, and which I really believe, like, for me, I think it's the solution. And also I would like to mention this, that I have been doing a challenge since like last 1 week. I I'll wake up at 6 a.m. every day this week, and I wake up at 10 a.m. So that's like unrealistic for me, guys. But I had to do it. I was like, come on, when you will do it? Like, you are wasting your life. So I felt pathetic daily. Like, I just woke up and started opened my laptop and did everything, guys, my job and stuff. Like, I had never time for me, and every day at the end I used to feel so bad. Like, literally I felt so bad. And that feeling, when you go to bed and you feel like a loser, that's the worst. Like, that's one of the worst feelings, guys. So this book stresses to have a specific morning routine, and it has formula like savers, what things you could do in the morning to make yourself a successful person. Like, small changes in life can really go a long way. So that's what this book is about. So savers is all about, start with scribbling. You scribble your thoughts, affirmations. You take affirmations. Then what's way for? I don't remember actually, but yeah, it's like meditation and scribbling, reading a book. These things. Uh, this book is good. Like, I did not read it like ago. I read it like for months. For self-help books, my strategy is to read less and actually use them in my life. Like, I can also read this thin book. I can read in like 2 3 days, but why will I do that? Because I wanted to use this book. So I read it slowly over like months. It took me months, I know, like 2 3 months, I don't know, like it took me a long time. So I read that, and this book, like, I love this book. I really like this book. So that was my first book. So talking about morning routine, so I also had a morning routine because of this book only for like a few months, few good months. That was the beginning. I never realized, but in this 1 week, in this 1 week when I had this challenge of waking up at 6 a.m., I realized something, that morning routine is something which should be like special to you. Because in the morning I hate meditation. Like, I love meditation, but not in the morning, because in the morning I'm already pretty calm down. So meditation, I don't need it. I need meditation when I'm like pretty tense, and it really calms me down. And I prefer guided meditation. So I used to follow the morning routine of this book, and nothing, like, I saw changes in my life, but nothing like big deal. But when I had my own routine, like my morning routine, I'm telling you, this week was just waking up and scribbling. Obviously, I love writing and stuff, you all know. And I just was listening to Spotify, and I was feeling so good. I'm just drinking a glass of water. I'm in my bed because it was too freaking cold, so I did not decided to, like, wake up and exercise and all. Like, I'm not that active person, guys. I need my chill. So that happened, and I was listening to Spotify, and I never listened to Spotify. Like, I just listened songs by Olivia Rodrigo, and I had never listened to her songs. I was like, yeah, she's too popular for me. Like, I like underrated stuff. um and I loved it. Like, her SAR playlist, oh my god, guys, like, it's the best. Like, I just love it. And that song, Deja Vu, Jealousy, and these songs, they're so good. Like, they're so freaking good. And also this one song by Conan Gray. Like, everyone likes people watching. I don't like enjoy people watching much. I'm into pop. I have realized this. So there was a song called Maniac by Conan Gray. Oh my god, it was so addictive. It just gave life to me, and I just got reminded that how in standard 11th, when I was in standard 11th, how music was my life. Like, during my whole teenage, when you're a teenager, you have a playlist. I had like 800 songs and thousands of I had when in my teenage. So you have a playlist of yours. So that just came back, and like having a morning for myself. So the bottom line is that I realized that having a morning for yourself, like morning routine, is meant to be you. It should be secret to you, and like do whatever you like. There is no like mandate. It's not mandatory you have to meditate or do stuff like that. Just do whatever makes you happy. So my morning is like, so I also decide one thing, like every morning should not be like, I know I love routines and stuff, but every morning I'll do whatever I want. Like if I don't want to listen to a song, I will not. And I'm just figuring out, guys. So I have told you in my resolutions video that by the end of this year, I want to know what works for me. So I'm just in the phase of figuring my morning routine, and every morning is just, it's just beautiful when you wake up early. It's like it has changed my life so much. My mental is so much better. Like I have so much loneliness, sadness, anxiety, and these things, and that things. So morning really helps. That was the point. So nice book, and it got me started. So definitely nice one. Now let's move on to the next. I don't remember the order in which I read those books, so whatever I'll say, I'll just share. So it's Fisher Queen Dynasty. It's about a girl. So it's actually like what do you say? It's a part of Mahabharata. Like I was reading her story and I was not sure whether should I like her or not. There are so many turning points in the story. It's written from her point of view, like the Fisher Queens. So I have read the Mahabharata, like the kids one, but I've never like thought from her perspective. So it was really nice. Let me tell you. So there's this one girl. She's brown. Her father is a fisherman. So she lives in the village, and since her father is a fisherman, she lives in like that area. So she has a smell. So also she is known as Matsya Gandha. The having the smell of the fish. I guess that's the meaning from the word. That's what I can decode. She is like really, sexy. She is really beautiful and she's a really sexy girl. She's a teenager, obviously. So Devrat actually, so Devrat's father, yeah, Devrat's father, Shantanu, her wife is Ganga. Oh my god, let's not get into the backstory. I'll tell you the gist of the story. So Shantanu sees her on the river side, and Shantanu is a really old man. He's an old man, so he sees this really sexy girl and he wants it, like kings and how they want young girls. So he cannot stop thinking about he cannot stop like thinking about her. And her son is a really talented person, like he's really talented. He was a really kind and wise person. This Devrat, he's really like he's deserving to be the king. But he cannot forget about this girl. So he talks to that girl, and she's in this scene, she's shown like a cunning girl who is thinking of what's best for her. So she is acting things like she's leaving, and and he just loses his mind when he saw Matsaganda up close. He just loses his mind, and she just went to her father, and then this king, obviously he wants that girl Matsaganda. He asks her father like, I want to marry her, but her father is very smart. So he is like, okay, what if you will marry her, then you will die, and what if your son will marry someone, and then their son will become kings and she will be thrown away, so she has no future. And the reason his father said that also is also another backstory, because they have been because her sister was also a queen, and shit happened with this Matsuganda father. So that's why they are living in poverty. So that is the reason he just wants a secure future for his daughter. But that's also really cunning. So you can't pick sides. Like everyone has their perspective. But Skydevrat, he says that I will never marry. I'll remain a virgin for life. Oh my god, like he did that, and that's the reason he got the name Bhishmita. Okay, so that happened, and there's also one girl, like Amba is her name, you might have heard in the Mahabharata story, and I really felt bad for her. Like she really loved like Bhim, and she was so much crazy for him, so that part really hurt me. Like I was really hurt to see that for years she came and she used to like beg for his love, and he cannot do that because he has taken a vow that I cannot marry someone else. I don't know, like people, I don't know, just and he also kind of loved her. I don't know, we cannot be sure. There's a lot of meanings. Like this book is good, guys. So this book is good. So I really felt bad for Amba. What can you say? So, anyways, there can be so many things. Like things could have gone so many other ways. But in the end, this is a nice read, and I just got so much engrossed in this book. Like when this book was finished, I was just thinking about these characters, and I was just so lost in their world. So This is a great book. Hoping to read more Kavita Kane this year. Okay, so every year I have a science phase. Like, I don't know, like these few years I've been noticing like there is this period in my year when I just want to read science books, and like those dreams. Oh my god, what if I'm a scientist? So I have these thoughts. So this year I also had money, so I ordered some like 5 6 books, like science books. So I was also reading A Brief History of Time. It's by Stephen Hawking. You all know who he is, like everyone knows, and this is actually a great book. This is not a story actually. He has simplified the concepts of like universe, and he has mentioned those things in this book. So I read like, I don't know, like until black hole and stuff I was reading, and then I think I went to place, or I got busy with something, and I had to drop this book. I think my science phase was over by then. So hoping to pick this up in the science phase of 2022. I read, let's keep this. Okay. And I was also in my science phase only, I read this book also, like few pages. So I was switching between these three books, and I was reading all these, and it was so much interesting to when I'm that curious about science, I want to know everything. So I need to calm down. So another book of my science phase is, this is a really small book. I think I read, yeah, I this is also book which I read in my science phase. It's called Stephen Hawking Black Holes. It's a really small book. I think there are like 2 lectures which are summarized in this book. So this, also I bought this, like this is a really famous book, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. So I'm really excited. So hoping to, this year I won't be buying any science books because I already have bought so many. So I'll be reading the books which I already have. So okay, so this is the book which I read this year, like Think and Grow Rich. I have not completed this book. I told you guys I've dropped so many books. Like, I don't know, if I get distracted and I get excited for a new book. It's like a TV series, you watch a few episodes, but then you, it's not the book's fault. Like, book may be good, but the timing or your mood. Like, I'm a really moody person, so if my mood like changes, I'm attracted to another book. I move on. It's written like in it's written way back, and this books actually tell how you can like think and actually manifest being rich. So it's about that. Okay, okay. So recently I started this book, The Secret, and after that I went to a trip to Udaipur. So I dropped this book obviously, but so this is also another book about manifestation. So this book tells that how you can actually manifest things, like manifest success for you. This book is about that. It's by Rhonda Byrne. So in this book, it is told that don't think negative thoughts. Like, if like suppose you're thinking that I don't want to fail that test, I don't want to fail that test. So it's written that the universe does not listen to don't. So the universe is listening like I it will not listen the don't. It will listen I want to fail the test. So don't have these thoughts. Like, instead have thoughts like I will rock the test. I will rock the test. And this point which was interesting to me. So I was speaking on and on and on, and the recording stopped. So I was saying that this point was really interesting to me about the secret. So I remembered that. So I'm in halfway through this book, and when you go to a trip after that when you come back, your life, kind of your routines, it fails. So my routine was totally shattered when I came back from the trip, and still recovering from that. Yeah. So that's why I dropped this book, and I would love to pick it up. I don't know why I'm sharing the drop books. I have read the books fully also, guys. There are books, so don't think that. But this, and also the pages are so like beautiful. See, it's like a vintage letter kind of page, and the pages are really soft also. It's about the law of attraction, and I kind of believe in those things like attraction and manifestation. I believe in that. I believe that if you believe something will happen to you, and like if you're really adamant, if you have a really adamant feeling, those things are going to happen to you. So believe in yourself. Don't think you are dumb ass loser, which I feel like most of the days, but that's not the point. Okay, coming to the next book. Oh my god, I love this book. So this is Eleanor and Park. You know, my ideal weekend morning, which is a totally relaxed weekend morning, is that when I wake up and on a bed and I just open the windows, I have like hot glass of hot water, and I am in my, like I have a silk robe kind of thing, which is very soft. I want to wear that and read a book. that and read a fictional like story book, not a self-help book. So that's my ideal winter, like that's my ideal morning routine. That's I just love that feeling. I did this for like I think 2 days only this year, and I just loved it. I want to do this more. So that is one of the days when I read Eleanor in Park. It's a really sweet love story. Like it's about Eleanor and Park, as the name suggests. So Eleanor is this girl who is not like the pretty popular girls in school. She's a bit weird. Her dressing sense is like weird, and her she is kind of messy. And I think she's a little weight, so kind of on the heavier side. And also she has red hair, and like not like a conventional pretty popular girl which are there in school. So she's not like that. And this Park guy, he is a Korean guy, I think. So he looks like that. He has a cute face and he's thin. So they are, like they sit on the bus together, and they don't talk. It's like it's about teenage love, guys. They don't talk at all. They share playlists and music, and when you're in the teenage, music is such an important part of the life. Like music is life at that time. Like having a playlist is like having a wardrobe. It's like having a clothes. Uh, like your playlist is something you love. Oh my god, I miss it. I had 800 songs in my playlist. It was crazy. I loved it. And you always you so they share songs, they share comic books, and that's how they start talking. And they like it's like a teenage love story. And like this girl Eleanor, he has an abusive father. Oh my god, that was like scary. So he has an abusive father, and she has also siblings. And then uh yeah, things happen. I don't want to spoil it for you guys. Park guy, he's really rich. Like he has a nice like house. He has like a nice family. He's from a nice family, like nice house, and his family is a happy family. Mom and dad are good. Like no one is abusive, and everything is cool. So yeah, it's about the struggles of a young girl, and with an abusive father. So yeah, it's Eleanor Park is about that. It's a really like a wholesome and a beautiful, nice story. There are so many more details, but I don't want to spoil you all. So definitely read this book. There is this quote which is like I think everyone has used in their Instagram captions. And when I read this book and I read that quote, I was like, okay, so there's the quote that everyone is stealing. And that quote is, so she was not like pretty or something, but she is beautiful like art, because art is not supposed to be perfect. It's supposed to make you feel something. And I just really love that quote. I don't know, like I just love a quote, and I just love when something is able to make me feel something, like a song or a scenery or something which is able to make me feel something. I really love that thing. So that was deep. I don't know. Yeah, also I'm feeling cold because I'm not wearing a jacket. So definitely I read this book obviously that morning, the whole book. I love reading these storybooks in one sitting. I think it took me like 2 to 3 hours. I don't remember. So I will tell you. Okay, this is my favorite book, which is down here. So I'll be mentioning my favorite book of the year in the last. Now, next book is this. Who Moved My Cheese? It's a really small book. Like you can read it. I don't know, like in 1 hour or two. And then I was like, this is a really. I read this one morning. When I had a morning routine, I used to read every morning, and so, like affirmations and scribbling that savers phase. My 2 3 months it lasted, and it was good. So I read this book one of the mornings. So this book is about like changing your perspective. Like so let me tell you, like there are four people. There are two men and two rats. So they live in a maze or something, and daily morning they go to find cheese for themselves, because obviously they need cheese to survive. So they found like a big lot of cheese. Like there's this room which has huge amount of cheese. So these four people, they enjoy a lot. Like and these two boys, like men, they get lazy. They're like, okay, we have like this settle. So one day what happened, like when they all come to that room from their home in that maze, they see that the cheese is gone, like nothing is left. And these two men, like they break, they are so like so shattered. They don't know what to do. They have never thought that this could also happen. Like, oh my god, they have settled in life. So these two rats, they are still into that routine. They take their shoes and they start finding cheese again. Like they're not sad, and they're not like depressed. They just move on to their old lifestyle. Started searching cheese again and again. And these two people, Ham and whatever the name is, like both of these names start from H. So one of the guys, like, he's like, okay, move on, let's start searching cheese again, like maybe we can find it like again, maybe it can happen again. That other guy is so negative, he's like, no, we are never going to find that amount of cheese, like we are lost, we are, he's just over it. But the like first guy, he has not lost hope. So again he found his cheese, and he saw that there are these two mouses are also there, and they're enjoying the cheese, so he also goes there. And in the end, that other person also changes. So the less bottom line is that of the story is that, if something like goes like, it's up to you how you perceive it, like there's no lesson, it's up to you how you perceive it. So my perceive, like what I thought is that, um it's the matter of perspective. Like, if you have lost a job, like if you lost a company, you never know what, like one door closes, another door opens. So you don't have to lose your hope, like, it's not over until you think it's over. So it's like a, just don't give up. It was for me, like this is how I think. I don't know what you will think. So definitely read this book. I like this book. It was a nice book, and it gives me a, like a nice, a nice feeling when I read it. It was yeah, it does not feel like an inspirational book, and it was like really a nice read. So I also started Atomic Habits this year. Like, oh my god, everyone on Twitter is like, have you read Atomic Habits? Everyone on Twitter has changed their life reading Atomic Habits, but I was like, only I have not changed it. And this book had some like great things, like some of the great things, but I have a bit of a controversial opinion. Like, so I actually read this book and I actually liked the concepts, but actually I had not implemented anything from this book in my life. I don't know what was the reason. I was maybe lazy or whatever, but this book has some great points. And if you will implement it, definitely it will change your life. But it was a nice read, and I think this book is meant to be read slow, like really slow, because you need to implement these things in your life. One thing it says that, what your environment, how your environment is, says a lot about you. Like if you are in a environment where you feel productive, then you will work. But if you feel that environments make you feel like a loser, like a messy, you have a messy environment, then you will feel like that. So it has a lot of, like, it has great information. Like this book is really great. But obviously, and it also says not to focus on habit, but to create a system. It is a lot of things, like, but I have dropped this book because, and again, I think something happened in my life, and when something happens, the first thing I do is drop the book, drop the self-help book. I don't know. So read this one and say what you feel. I'll definitely try this again. Like I'll start it again with a fresh perspective. Then I can comment. But yeah, I learned something, but I'm not. I don't think, like, intentionally I have not applied anything until now in my life. Okay, I don't know. I don't remember if I have missed any book. But yeah, we're going to talk about my favorite book, like the book that made me fall in love with reading again and with stories again, and it was sad. And this book is. So I read this book this year. I know maybe I'm late. Everyone has already read this book. So one fine Sunday morning, I had a few, like I had way less books at that time, and I had recently bought this book. So I thought, you know what, let's start this. And this book, oh my god, so beautiful, guys. Like, so let me tell you the story, like the summary. So there is this girl called Mariam, and she and her mother lives on the outskirts of the city because her mother was a maid to a rich man, and she is the daughter of that rich man. So it's like, an illegal, out of the marriage kind of affair. And her dads come and visit, like every weekend. So this girl Mariam, and she likes her dad, but her mother hates her. Obviously, why will she not hate her? So I can understand that. But she is like, no, you're wrong. Dad is good. Like dad is cool. And the writing is so beautiful, and it's like sad also at time, how she wants to be seen, how she wants to be treated like other kids, like which he has from his wife. So she wants to be treated like that. And it's just sad. And like then there's one fine day, she finally takes matters in her own hand, and she went to visit her father, and something like really bad happens, guys. Like I don't want to spoil the book for you, but that was like, oh my god, like it broke my heart. Like this book really genuinely broke my heart. So I'm so tired, I've been speaking since 1 hour. So this guy, then she is married to an older man, which is pretty common. Like marrying to an older man in many cultures is common, and in those times, like it's pretty common. So they are married and things happen, and this man, he's like a real patriarch, like a real patriarch, that guy. So he makes her wear, wear like all the clothes uh, to cover her face and stuff. And then she tells how she felt like when she wore those coverings, like she can see the world and the world cannot see her. So that was an interesting perspective of her, which I got from this book. And like how life happened, and she also some days she want to feel happy like a normal husband and wife, and things happen, like this book. Life changes, everything happens, and it's about how, then the Taliban and all, the capture of Afghanistan. This book is based in Afghanistan, how they had so many rules, especially for women, and it was how they used to control them, and you cannot go out, you cannot watch television, and it was like you had no basic human right. Like this book told me, like we are so privileged that we have the right, like I can film this video and put on YouTube, like we have internet, we have this house, we have so much freedom which we never realize, and this book just broke my heart. So I read that book and it was so heartbreaking. um the ending is not like bad, like many bad things happen. The ending is not bad, but definitely read this book, guys. The writing is has all, like I cannot say how much many things are in this book. And there's also this other girl, Lala, and Mariam and Lala, these two girls are in this book, though this book is about those two also. I just fell in love with his writing in this book, so I ordered two more books by him, but I'm not read, because the reason is this so I love a book when it makes me feel something, like it touches my heart, and if I cry, then that book is dope. But I don't want to intentionally cry, so I am just dreading, I don't want to cry, so I'm not going to read any more sad stories. So that's why I'm not with Kite Runner. I've read like 2-3 pages, then I don't know, like I was so scared, like I will not cry, I'll be sad, so I've dropped it. But then you don't know. And my current read, let me mention you, like last, I think I started it on Christmas. So I think like these two books I've started. It's the Where the Crawdads Sing, this book. Yeah, I think it's this book, and the Almanac of Naval Ravikant. I've been reading them slowly. I cannot feel my legs anymore because I've been sitting on my legs. But yeah, I had no idea who Naval is. Like I just went to Twitter and everyone was like, Naval is great, like Naval, and this book is great. So I was like, Twitter made me do it. So I bought this book, and I used to think that it will be another self-help book, normal stuff. But this book has really like nice perspective, and this is not written by Naval. It is written by another person called I don't know, like Eric. His name is Eric. So this book is based on a novel, tweets, and blog posts and interviews or whatever. But it has really nice perspective, and um, I really think that this book has gave me fresh perspectives. So I'm really tired and cold. I'm tired and cold, so I cannot. Uh, it's about building wealth, building our own business in today's era. So this is like much more today's book. So this book is great again. It's about and the basic story of Naval is that Naval was a guy. They were born in India, then they moved to US, and they were really poor. The parents separated, and then how he reached to this level. It's like it's not basically it's not a biography, but it's like things which are said to by him. And also, okay, I have read this few pages of this book, so I will not like include it in my 2021 because I will be reading it now. So those were the books, and I'm surrounded with so many books. Also, I read this book Around the World in 80 Days, and like few more books online. Like I don't keep track of like PDFs and stuff. Also, this year, so talking about 2022, I have decided to keep a reading journal. Like every book I read, I learn so many cool things, but I don't like note down them, and I miss these things. So I'm trying to keep a reading journal. I'll be keeping a reading journal, and I'll note down all those things which I'll find interesting from books, like words or quotes or whatever. And also, my goal is to just read 12 books, like no pressure goal, no pressure, just 12 books, and I'm happy. And I'm not definitely not buying 1,000 books again. Just feeling stupid, like talking to myself since 1 hour, and it's really cold, guys. So I guess I need to go, and I'm just surrounded by books. So bye. I'll see you next week. I'll see you next week. Bye.